Good morning, everybody. Welcome to an absolutely fantastic, beautiful, phenomenal Science Saturday. I am so excited, as per usual, because we are somewhere different today. To be honest, same beach as last month, but we've moved down to the other side, and we are at the spearfishing tournament. And this is really cool because I am joined today by some amazing friends and kind of co-workers, even though we're in different divisions, who are going to be running the weigh-in station at the spearfishing tournament today. Hence the weigh-in with Division of Fish and Wildlife. I'm pretty proud of that title. I am hilarious. We know this. So we are learning today not just about what happens at a weigh-in station, but why we do this beyond just finding out who wins, because that's important, because there are always awesome prizes, but there are implications to what fish come in, how big they are, how heavy they are, all kinds of stuff like that I don't know very much about, and it's always so much more fun when I don't know what we're talking about. So, ladies, hey, good morning. I am joined by three, we'll just say fisheries biologists. That is a general enough term to catch everybody and not be insulting. So, who are you? Why are you? What are you? What's up?
My name is Maggie, and I am a fisheries biologist with the Division of Fish and Wildlife.
My name is Tia, and I'm an environmental specialist with the Division of Fish and Wildlife.
And I'm Danielle. I'm also a fisheries biologist with the Division of Fish and Wildlife.
And just so you guys know, the Division of Fish and Wildlife is in the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, just like me. So I'm in the Division of Coastal Zone Management. So we're like sister divisions.
Yep, absolutely.
So what are we doing today? What's up?
So today we're going to talk about fisheries science, and we're going to go through some of the weigh-ins that we do at tournaments like this, at the spearfishing tournament.
Okay.
So fisheries science is a multidisciplinary area that aims to understand harvestable marine resources. So that means that anything that we take from oceans, lakes, or any other body of water, and we use for things like food, medicine, or for business. There's a lot of different aspects to fisheries science, but the most common is looking at how human use affects the natural populations of fish species. And we do that by looking at population assessments or understanding the biology and health of fish populations.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so there's a lot of different, within fishery science, there's a lot of different types of data that is used to guide fishery management decisions. Two of these types of data are fisheries dependent data, and then there's fisheries independent data. Fisheries dependent data is data that is collected from a fishery. So this includes data from fishers, vessels, and or fish markets. While as fisheries independent data it's usually data that is not collected using any fishing activities. So dive surveys would be a common type of fisheries independent data that is collected, and it's used to collect information on fish populations through diver observations and through fish counts. And then other types of data collection would be through trap surveys, hook and line surveys, and net surveys. Another type is also camera surveys, and this is another way to collect fisheries independent data, and the footage is usually used to estimate fish counts within a population.
So no matter what type of data we're looking at, whether it's fisheries independent or dependent, we want to collect biostatistical data.
Ooh, that's our vocab word for the day.
Yes.
Biostatistical data.
It's a fancy word for saying that we're looking for anything that has to do with the biology or health of a fish. So in other words, we want to know the weight of the fish, the length of the fish, so we can understand how they grow, age, and reproduce.
Okay.
And today at this fishing tournament, we're going to be collecting biostatistical data. Tournament data is usually highly targeted towards certain species, usually offshore pelagic species like wahoo, tuna, and things of that nature.
We're always hungry in Science Saturday. I'm thinking about that. I'm looking at the lionfish that Joe brought in. I'm thinking it's lunchtime. That's Joe's lionfish. We're very proud of him.
So this is fishery dependent data we're collecting today.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So
got it.
So collecting data on, we also collect data on fishing effort, and this could usually provide supplemental information about specific fish populations and their migratory patterns. And we also collect things called effort data, and this is usually a measure of time and cost that is usually associated with catching the fish.
There was a lot of effort that went into
Catching this fish.
catching this lionfish, so it's important to record that for sure.
Exactly. So now we can transition into showing you what we're going to be doing today and actually how we're going to be collecting this data. So right here we have our data sheet that we're going to be using. So the fishers would bring in their fish, and we have our example fish from Joe. Thank you.
We also have an
Joe
example
brought it
salmon.
Yes, we
We're
do.
gonna pretend that I brought it in.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at my
okay.
lionfish and my Pacific salmon.
Very rare find around here.
I'm a
okay.
very good fisher.
So let's see. So we've got the lionfish now. Danielle, you were saying something earlier about the lionfish, and we've had them on a couple of times before, right?
Yes. So one thing we want to keep in mind is that lionfish are an invasive species, and they have venomous spines. So if you pay attention, Maggie is wearing gloves. She'll be wearing gloves the entire time we're handling the lionfish today. And we just want to remember that if we were to see a lionfish in the water, do not attempt to touch it because we have venomous spines. So just be very careful.
Watching.
As I do the demo without my gloves.
Yeah, we're not trying.
That
Okay,
wasn't
so-
me. That was somebody else's fingers on the
So
screen.
we've got it on this board here. What are we going to use this for?
All right, so the first thing we're going to do with our handy dandy data sheet is we're going to write down the information on who caught the fish. So today we're going to write that Joe caught the lionfish.
Oh, fine.
And we know that this is a lionfish, so we're going to write the species as lionfish.
Oh, I'm very close to my reaction cam. I've got my reaction cam on so we can see me too. All right, so collecting data.
So the next thing we're going to do is get a weight of the lionfish. So we want to know how heavy it is. So we're going to use our scale right here.
Okay. Ooh. All right. It is 145 grams.
Yes.
That's lunch right there.
Then the next thing we're going to do is get a length of the fish. So there's a couple different types of length that length information that we try to collect. There's three main types: standard length, fork length, and total length. Today we're gonna just take a look at the two main types: fork length and total length. And it just has to do with where we're taking the measurement.
Okay.
So for fork length, we want to go from the tip of the mouth of the fish to the fork in the tail. But for total length, we're going from the tip of the mouth to the longest part of the tail.
Okay, so this means that a fish's tail won't affect your height or the length.
Right.
If you're doing fork length.
If we're doing fork length, but not all species have a forked tail.
Okay, so
And
like
so-
if you measured me right now with or without my hat on, we'd be like head height, total height with my hat.
Yes.
It's scientific.
Basically.
Okay. Just go with it.
You always want to make sure that the fish is flush with the edge of the board so that you're getting an accurate reading. And again, we're being careful of the spines. And then you want to smooth out the tail, and you're going to measure from the furthest point. So he is about 21.5 centimeters.
Okay, and you guys are going in centimeters, not inches.
Yes. Correct.
Cool.
Yeah, because we always collect in the metric system for science.
Because it's science. I saw a really funny thing on Facebook that was like Americans will use anything except the metric to measure. And it was like, come within 3 whales of me and say that again. Come to me within 3 lionfish. All right. Sorry,
The last thing that we have on our data sheet is if it's a male or female.
Okay.
For most fish, we cannot tell that without dissecting it, like this species. So we're gonna go ahead and skip that data column, and then the last thing would be to just record anything that we see on the fish that might tell us if anything's going on with their health. If we saw a parasite or any kind of weird marking, which we don't see on this guy, so we're good to go.
All right, let's do a good inspection. I see we have the holes from where Joe shot it. Not a parasite. Any weird markings? He looks delicious. I know. Yep. No, we're not doing this. No weird markings. No parasites. Ooh, we should do a Science Saturday on fish parasites. I hate parasites. Never mind. Disregard. All right. Very cool. All right. So we've got the data. What happens next?
So once we get data sheets full of data, we take it back with us to our office and we enter it into a big database that we use to analyze our tournament data.
Ooh, okay. So this is, once everything goes in, it's not personalized. So you're looking at general data, just like general trends, what's going on. You know, we don't care. Once the tournament, you know, people know who won, from there on, it's just, you know, you guys getting data kind of opportunistic. Correct. That's all right. That's super cool. So working with the community to get data.
Yes.
Yay, science!
And the more data we collect, the more it aids us in making responsible and good management decisions.
Okay. Very nice. Excellent.
So I think
So I saw that we had somebody come in while we were doing our lionfish weigh-in, and that's super cool. So fishers are already starting to come in, and they're going to have fish like lionfish. I saw some lobster. So this is going to be a really fun day.
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Very cool. So back to the data a little bit. We talked about, or you guys mentioned in the intro, learning about migrations and, you know, health populations, and then you mentioned management decisions. What kind of decisions can we make based off of not necessarily this tournament, because that would be a very small, tiny little data set, but what kind of information are we looking for in fisheries science? What do we want?
That's a good question. I mean, so tournament data is just one aspect of recreational fishing data. So this part helps to complete our understanding of any type of fishing that's for personal consumption or for sport or anything like that. And so we get a really good idea of, you know, who's going out there, the effort they're putting into taking the fish out, and then also our understanding of fish populations and their state in the natural environment.
Very cool. Very interesting. So let's say if somebody were just out boating and saw a lot of lionfish somewhere, what should they do?
If they have the proper gear, I would highly recommend they go in and spear them,
And
since
eat
they
them.
are an invasive species.
So you guys who follow Science Saturday have seen me make lionfish ceviche at least twice, and today's gonna be number 3, although I left everything in my car, so that might be a private viewing only. You guys know how I do. It's a glass jar, it has seasoning in it. All right, cool. So what if somebody is not a fisher, you know, not a spear? Is there a way that they can report that or tell you guys or anybody else who needs to know?
Yeah, it would be good to report to CORE. There's a strike team for lionfish that you can report. I'm sure we can share the link, or we can report.
CoreVI.org.
Yes. And that'd be a great place because they hold the data on where the lionfish are, and then they'll go out and get them.
Very cool. Very interesting. Is there any other information that you guys want from general public, or I mean, I know today is just on the spearfishers and the competition, but what kind of information do you guys want?
We're always looking to collect data, so if you are a recreational fisher in any sense, we always encourage the community to report their catch, and we have a website for that, but we don't have it off the top.
That's
of
okay.
my
We'll put it in the
but we can
comments
have it in the
afterwards. That's
comments,
cool.
that goes straight to the reporting form for anyone to be able to electronically submit their catch anytime they recreationally fish. And again, that just adds more data to our database so that we can always have supplemental data to supplement our decision-making process.
Cool. So, another question. At the end of today, how bad do you think we're gonna smell?
We'll smell pretty fishy.
That's an interesting question.
We will definitely smell fishy.
But no dissections going on today.
No
You guys are
dissections
just
today.
measuring data and out. And
Yeah.
so each fisher can do whatever they want with their catch.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? So hopefully eat it.
When we collect this type of data, we don't ever keep the fish. The fisher always gets to keep their catch and do what they want with it.
Cool.
It's just a chance for us to collect some data and try not to intervene too much on their catch.
Excellent. Very cool. And I also noticed you guys aren't taking any location data. And that is to protect the top secret sworn lock and key locations that everybody's going to get their catch today.
We do try to get some area information if the fisher is willing to give it to us, because of course that plays into effort.
Right.
So depending on where they went, how much time it took to get to that spot, how long they were at that spot, the hours they spent fishing, the number of crew that they had, all of that plays into the total effort of the trip.
Okay.
So for example, I was willing to report that this came from Brewers Bay,
Okay.
and actually came from a report from Core that someone had submitted regarding lionfish, and that's not the lionfish they reported, but
Hey, you got one.
right.
Proud of you, buddy.
So certain things I'm willing to volunteer as the fisher.
Okay.
Right,
Good.
it's always voluntary. It's never invasive, and we just want to collect any information that they're willing to give us, because anything helps. So.
Cool. Awesome. All right, so today looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And what if some young, starry-eyed, budding marine biologist is like, you're the 3 coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. How do I work with you? How do they work with you?
Well, we have some internship programs that we do through UVI. We had some interns this summer, and they came and did a lot of different projects with us. One intern in particular was working with our tournament data, which was fun. But yeah, it's pretty much through internships.
Anybody
Fishing
can
team.
also volunteer with us.
Yes.
They just have to sign a waiver, a volunteer waiver. But anybody can come out and assist with us in field work if they want, or if they want to learn about the process or whatever. We're always willing to include the community in the work that we do.
Okay, so what if it's a not so young, but still starry-eyed career person who wants to get involved? What's the next step there?
I guess it would depend on how they wanted to get involved.
Okay.
If it was a volunteer type thing, it would be the same thing. They'd sign the waiver and they can come out on the boat with us. They can come do this kind of stuff with us. If they were wanting to get involved in a professional capacity, that would be a little bit more of a conversation that we would have to discuss and build a partnership on. But of course, we're always looking to work in collaborative ways.
All right, very cool. All right, Joe, my scientist. What else we got?
Let's see. Can you see me here? Here I am. I'm actually wearing a hat that was provided for me in partnership. One of the partners with DFW, the Sea Turtle Alert Response Star.
Assistance and rescue.
Assist and rescue. See, I got to look it up. That's why I wear the hat.
Stellar volunteer.
But so we've measured our lionfish. It seems like some other fish are starting to come in. So I think maybe one last thing is, what are you guys hoping to see today at the tournament? What are you guys excited to see? And then I think we'll let you get right to the weighing.
I think I don't really have any expectations for today. I mean, there's the species that are as part of the rules, so I think people will be coming in with probably some tuna, some mahi, some African pompano, hopefully lots of lionfish.
I was gonna say, I hope we see mostly lionfish,
Yes.
because that is super sustainable and good for our oceans and so delicious. I mean, the other ones are delicious too, but lionfish, it's like the double hitter.
Yes.
Triple hitter.
Well, sounds good. I think.
All right, excellent. Well, ladies, we're not going to hold you up any longer. So, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you have so much data in a manageable manner and not too crazy. And thank you to everyone who is watching, who's going to watch later in the week. If you're watching this not live, throw questions in the comments and we'll get to them later. We'll also try to get all of those links for you. If you have a chance, come down to the tournament. We are at Hull Bay. You can relax on the beach, you can go snorkeling, you can come up and check out the weigh-in table, check out the sponsors, and just enjoy our amazing and beautiful natural resources. So guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next month for I have no idea. It'll be a surprise.